So in today's video, I want to talk about these boost or vacuum actuated exhaust cutout valves. So a lot of people call these loud valves. I believe that would be the incorrect usage of the name because loud valve is actually a company, so that is like a specific name. But you could probably call it a loud valve and get away with it. So I feel like this is relevant because I've had a few people recently that have accidentally bought the wrong valve or didn't know what kind of valve to buy. I personally, the first time I bought one of these, I bought one on eBay and I bought the wrong type of valve because there's multiple different kinds. So buying these on eBay or Amazon, you're going to spend probably like $30, $35 to get one, and they're a little bit confusing the way that they're listed. If you were to actually buy them from the company, Loud Valve, you're going to pay a little bit more, but the descriptions are a little bit better, and you don't run a chance of accidentally buying the wrong one. I actually have a different type of valve here that I ended up cutting it apart and re-welding it to do what I wanted it to do because I bought the wrong one because the description was kind of messed up. So essentially what you have is a normally open version, a normally closed version, and you have a boost actuated version or a vacuum actuated version. So this valve in its resting position would be normally closed. This valve would be normally open because it's in its resting position. So you got to think about that for what kind of function you would want it to do. Like if you have a boost car and you want it to open up with boost, you would want one that looks like this. So this is a normally closed valve, and you can see the rod here is pulled in. So you can see the linkage is actually pulled in towards the diaphragm. So that means that it's going to push the valve open when it sees boost. So this would be like the same type of valve. This is one that I had on a different setup. So boost goes here, and when it sees boost, it pushes the valve open. So you have a normally closed valve, and the rod pushes the valve open. So this one here, as I said before, is the normally open style, and you can see the rod is extended and the linkage is out pushed away from the diaphragm. So that means that this one is a vacuum actuated valve. So you put your vacuum line on here, it sees vacuum and it pulls the rod in and it closes the valve. So anytime the engine is running, not in boost, engine running, it's going to close the valve. And then when you push the throttle down, starts to lose vacuum, it's going to open the valve. So this valve would be fully open at wide open throttle. So if you had like an NA car and you want an exhaust cutout that runs with vacuum, you could use a normally open vacuum actuated valve with the rod out. So essentially you would want the valve fully open when you were wide open throttle. Zero vacuum, valve opens, good to go. This type of valve, normally closed, and you can see that it is a boost actuated valve. This valve wouldn't open if you had an NA car, so this is only going to work with boost, and it's going to start to push the valve open. Another thing to look at too by which way the valve is going to open is this little lip inside of here. So this is going to move away, and that'll kind of help you determine when you're looking at the pictures, if you're buying one, which way the valve opens, which way this thing wants to actuate, and you can decide from there what's going to work for your setup. So the normally open vacuum style would work also with a boosted setup. You're just going to have the valve open a lot earlier, which isn't bad. I did have that setup on the Ranger when I had the triple turbo setup on there. That's when I had this vacuum valve on there. So anytime the engine was running, it would close it, and then when I would start to lose vacuum, it would open it when I would get in the throttle. So the issue with that though is there's a stage 2 cam in this truck, so it didn't really have great vacuum all the time. So if you would get into a situation where there was any kind of idle surging or vacuum fluctuation, it would open the valve when you didn't really want it open, which wasn't really a huge deal, but depending on your situation, it might be. So if you do have a boosted setup, go with something like this. That way you know when you're in boost, it has to push the valve open, and it's always closed. So I just wanted to make this video because I did mess up when I bought the first one and I ended up having to cut and re-weld it. Everybody's not going to be able to do that. So hopefully it can help you buy the right one in the first place. And like I said, the listings on them can be kind of terrible. So they might tell you normally open or normally closed, which you can tell easily from the picture. But if you don't understand the rod and the linkage on it, assuming they're using an accurate picture, the description might tell you that it's a boost valve, but then it talks about how much vacuum it works on. Or it'll say it's a vacuum valve, and then it has like conflicting information in the description. Just wanted to go over that. Hopefully that helped. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.